Hello everyone and welcome to Snap Take. I told you today might be a 2 video day, and in fact it is. The data mines are too huge to wait. We're going to go over everything that we could find in today's patch and data mines. Full credit goes to Marvel Snap Bugle over on Twitter, SnapFan, and Marvel Snap Zone for all of this great stuff. This is the image for the May cards. We know the April stuff. We're going to look at what's updated in April. We're looking at everything that's new in May. We have a new X-Men season. I could not be more excited. It's such a cool comic if you've never read it. But X-Men are coming back to Marvel Snap. First, series drops have happened, so if you are holding off on your unowned Series 4 and 5 cards in the Sanctum Shop, you can feel free to once you've updated the game. Do that. I ranked the cards right here for you. Just very quickly, green means go get these cards ASAP. Yellow means these are good for specific decks. Null is a card they gave us for free. Nimrod and Spider-Ham are fine gets, but whatever. And then Silk, Selene, and Hercules are cards you can get but probably will not use. So the cards are Zebu, Monarch, Mobius, Ghost Spider, Lady Deathstrike, Havoc, and Nebula as just sort of kind of good cards. Then we've got Null, who everyone should have gotten a couple of weeks ago. Nimrod and Spider-Ham are fine cards. They're not as good as the above mentioned meta cards. And then Silk, Selene, and Hercules are kind of bad cards. That is the 13 cards dropping to Series 3. Dropping to Series 4, we have Scar, Call Obsidian, and Cannonball as your must-get cards. Scar going in Helidex, and with next week's Starbrand coming out is great. Call Obsidian, especially if you got Sam Wilson Captain America, is an incredible card. And then Cannonball is obviously Cannonball, goes in an absolute ton of decks. Shaw only goes in Surfer, but he is absolutely incredible in Surfer, so if you like Surfer, you can move him up to green. If not, you can move him down. Corvus, Werewolf by Night, and Nihilus and Ms. Marvel are fine cards. None of them are required. They're just cards that are nice to own. Elsa, if you played right around the Christmas holiday, you got Elsa for free. That's why she's so low. And then Blob and Loki don't really go in anything. I think Blob's last bit of real estate was taken over by Agamotto. So that is our series drops. We're going to get to the data mines momentarily, but before we do, I'm going to ask you to hit that sub button if you're willing. We're trying to hit 25,000 subs in 2025, and we cover Marvel Snap more thoroughly than anyone. We gave you four great decks this morning. We'll have 4 more great decks for you tomorrow morning. We'll be doing a big old data mined bundle review as soon as those are ready. We cover Marvel Snap extremely thoroughly. If you want everything Marvel Snap, hit that sub button. You also have a chance on this video to win Agamotto. If you want a free Agamotto, all you have to do is, once you're subbed and like, comment on this video. And the comment's going to be simple. I didn't even make it its own slide. The comment is real simple. Which of the data mines are you personally most excited for? Answer that. Someone who answers that will win an Agamotto at the end of this week. All right. Other quick patch things. First, end of turn was codified as a keyword, just like start of game was. Okay, great. Now end of turn things all happen at once. Now there's also a term for created cards, like depending on where they're created, we'll have created cards get certain effects. That is for Esun and for several other cards. And then we have generated variants, specifically Shauna and Iron Patriot. If you have like a hip Shauna, Shauna's going, and you pull a 1-drop that has a hip variant, Shauna's going to use that hip variant. Iron Patriot's going to do the same thing for, well, there's only one Iron Patriot variant, but if there's another card that has that same variant type with Iron Patriot, that will also happen. Notably, it's happening with Darkhawk. So that's very, very cool. Shauna is also pulling variants that aren't released yet. We're going to talk about some of those unreleased variants later this video. Hit that sub button. Also, tonight at around 6:30, 7 p.m. Eastern, I'll be streaming with both Agamotto and Esun if you're interested in checking that out. All right, we did that already. Next up, we've got Captain Carter is bumped from a 4-2 to a 4-3 since last time we saw her. She is the card that cares about Rose. Add this card's power to your back row cards here. So you want to make sure you play her as one of the first 2 cards in the lane, and then she's going to give at least +3, although it could be less if she's got like it with the Scorpion, +3 to the back row. She can't add to itself, but she can, however, get buffed by various things. If she ends up with 5 power, 7 power, so on and so forth, then she's going to give 5, 7 power to the back row. That obviously seems incredible with numerous ongoing cards. In particular, cards like Iron Man, which are going to just be absolutely huge with this buff. This is the season pass card for April. It's updated. Great to see it. From there, we have Kahuri, who didn't really receive a rework. She received a reword. Each card in your hand gives one of your cards in play +1 power, so that means she can give up to +7 power, making her play for a 4-13. You want to play her with generator cards. If that generator archetype ends up working, whether it be with cards like Esun, cards like Agent Coulson, Kahuri I think is going to be very strong. 4-13 is a ton, and she, again, +7 is a ton. like, I think this card is going to be absolutely great. 4/6 is not stats to sniff at all by itself. I think that, again, Gohori is the sleeper deck of the April season. Then we have Infinity Ultron, who is very simple. 5/6 on reveal, add 2 of Ultron stones to your hand. Ultron stones are Ultron's Infinity stones. So we have updates to these cards. Remember that you're generally speaking going to play him on turn 5, which means you're only going to be able to play 2 of these on turn 6, unless you're running Quinjet or Ravonna or something like that. So Ultron Space is 3/4. Move the lowest power enemy card to Infinity Ultron, ideally saying you get to win that location, although be careful with stuff like Iron Man. Ultron Reality, 3/1. Add a drone here inside its powered Infinity Ultron, which means you get an extra 3/6 or more. Ultra Time, on reveal, put a card from your hand here. That seems reasonably strong. Just play it and get an extra card. Ultron Mind, ongoing. Your on reveal abilities here happen twice. That seems potentially strong, but most of what you're likely to play is one of the on reveals. So you can play Ultron Mind into Ultron Time and pull 2 cards from hand. You can play Ultron Mind into Ultron Power and then double Ultron twice to 12 and then to 24, which seems like it's really good. Stuff like that seems very good. And then we've got Ultron Soul on reveal for each full location of one of your cards there, plus 2 power. So if the location is pull, it's going to give plus 2 power to that location, which is okay. That could have value. So Infinity Ultron is at least super cool and probably an entirely new archetype, so you love to see it. Finally, Doctor Strange went from a 2/0 to a 2/2. This is Strange Supreme. Give this plus 2 power for merging. So now it merges once and it's immediately a 2/4 plus whatever the power of the thing it merged with is. End of turn, merge one of your created cards. There's that keyword into this. I'm still not sold on this card. Sorry. Hydra Stomper gets plus 1 more power and a rework on its wording so it's clear. For each plus 1 power for each time one of your cards moved this game. So anytime one of your cards moved, even if it moved more than once, you get plus 1 power, which means this is amazing with Heimdall and with some other cards we're going to look at. I think that this is a really, really powerful enabler for a classic move, one we're going to want to take a look at. And again, these are April's cards. Let's get to, we're almost at May. We've probably got, we've got a, whatchamacallit coming. We've got a, we know that in March we have a, and the name of the event is running away from me. Where did it go? It is the High Voltage. We've got a High Voltage coming in May. I'd assume we get a reworked Deadpool's Diner or a new mode. In March. I'd assume we get a Deadpool's Diner or a new mode in April. And with that will be coming very likely Dum Dum Dugan, who is up to a 2/3. Your cards in the front row here have plus 1 power. That includes him. It doesn't say other. Oh, can't add to itself. Okay. It's got that extra text at the end I missed. So it's going to be a 2/3, and then it's going to make your other card on the front have an extra power. You would like one of the cards that you can do that with is obviously going to be Agent Carter, which is going to make her a 4/4, which means the back cards will both have +4, and that seems like it's really valuable. This is an okay card. I think it'll be worth having. All right, we're on to May. The season pass for May is fucking incredible. Can we skip? I like this so much more than Agent Carter. I honestly like this more than Agamotto. This card seems incredible. So 3/4. Copy a card from your deck into your hand, set its cost to 3 and power to 4. That seems unbelievably cool in Surfer decks, but a lot of decks are going to want this. All your like cheap decks, your like Iron Man, Ravonna style decks, getting a 3/4 Iron Man, a 3/4 Mystique, a 3/4 Gore are going to be absolutely insane. I am so excited for this card. This one also looks really cool. I want Esme Cuckoo. Like now, the season pass card for May is going to be bonkers and going to enable a crap ton of new decks. Again, Surfer is the place to start with this as a 3/4 since it makes you an extra 3. But hell, like get a 3/4 Brood, right? You get a 3/4 Brood. How excited is a 3/4 Brood? I am in love with Esme Cuckoo. I want this card tomorrow. This is a very, very cool season pass. Looks like they're going to continue to release insanely strong build around season pass cards. That seems to be their design decision to make people buy them as much as possible. Coming out with Esme Cuckoo is Surge. Surge is also awesome. A 2/2, Series 5. Give the top card of your deck -1 cost and +1 power after you play it. Not that you have to play it next. After you play it, repeat this ability. So it's going to give another card -1 cost and +1 power. That's amazing. I feel like that goes immediately in like Thanos, but I think it might go in like everything. This feels like one of the best 2-drops in the game. -1 cost is insane. +1 power is good, but -1 cost to basically the next card for potentially the rest of the game seems absurdly strong. This is just going to be our standard go-to 2 as we continue to release insanely good 2-drops in Marvel Snap. Again, Thanos will be my place to start with for this deck. From there, we go to the spotlights that are coming with Surge, and this one's great if you weren't around a couple Marches ago and didn't get Hope Summers. Hope is a very, very important card to own in Marvel Snap that goes in a lot of builds. Hope with Surge seems really good, as now you can have -1 cost +1 energy for a lot of the game, which seems crazy, using Surge with something like Kitty Pryde, for example. I think that these cards go really well together, and that makes me excited. I like when they do that. Meanwhile, Emperor Hulkling is sort of a nothing card. It's not bad. People that think Emperor Hulkling are bad are just wrong. It's just that there's not really, generally speaking, a specific reason to run it. I know a lot of top players run it as like a big surprise because 612 is a lot of stats, but this one isn't great. At least it's a cool variant. I don't actually like the Surge variant, and this Hope feels like every other freaking Hope Summers in the game. From there, we have Prodigy coming out a week later on 513. This is a 3/4. If this is in the back row, copy the text of the card in front of it. So this is a 3 that you want to play later in the game to try and get something, but you can play it early, right? It should be relatively easy um to go Hood into Demon into Prodigy, and at that point you've got an extra Demon, and then you can still get more of those by playing a Misery on top or anything along those lines. That seems really good. You can also get a lots of good ongoing stuff. You get like a Victoria Hand in front of this, and this is just now a cheaper Moonstone. This card is going to be very, very good as well. I'm excited to use it in Victoria Hand decks in particular. I think they're really going to like this because at worst, I'm going to be able to like get myself extra generation from it, and I can get a copy of Victoria Hand. I can get a copy of Iron Patriot. Seems really, really strong. This one, again, seems very good and very powerful and useful to me. All right. Prodigy comes with Frigga, which is a card that it will likely go in decks with. Again, we're talking Victoria Hand. I think that that is going to be excellent. I'm excited to see these two cards be played together. I think that is going to be in a decent amount of decks where you copy a card, use Frigga to like make sure Prodigy goes to the back row. It'll be back left. That card you copied with Frigga is now the same card that Prodigy is playing a copy of, and that seems very, very strong to me. Frigga is also an excellent card that goes in a lot of archetypes. This week feels real, real must own. Meanwhile, Silver Sable is fine. It's a good bounce card and occasionally good in Affliction. I'm not sad to see Silver Sable come back. I'm not sad to see Silver Sable in the spotlights, but she doesn't necessarily go with Prodigy or Frigga. Although if you hit Sable with Prodigy, that is reasonable power, right? That's a 4/6 that plays as a potential, sorry, a 3/6 that plays as potentially a 3/8. That's okay. The thing is, I don't think I really want Prodigy in bounce decks, and I don't think I really want Prodigy in Affliction decks, and those are Sable's homes. But I do think Frigga and Prodigy go well together. Meanwhile, this is an okay Prodigy variant. We're gonna look at an incredible. The base one I think is about as good. This is an okay Frigga variant. We're gonna look at better versions of these later this very video. Next up, we've got Elixir. Elixir, our next 1-drop. Activate. The next time one of your cards is destroyed this turn, revive it here. Which means that that card has to be destroyed that turn. That means you're going to want to be playing Destroy for this card, right? This is okay. I feel like this is probably going to be relatively weak, unless there's some insane combo I'm just missing with this. You can play this and then play like a Misery elsewhere or a Killmonger and get your card back, but it's only one of your cards and it's only one back. I don't know. I'm not sold on this, but it is a very cool design. It offers us something different. So like while this isn't great, and this is likely to be like the next series 5 1-drop that we don't really want, I think that this at least has potential. Elixir does come with this one incredible variant, which is really cool, and Elixir comes with two of the best cards to get in Marvel Snap. Arishem, the card you probably want to get early, and Malekith, one of the more underrated cards around in the game. You get both of these cards with Elixir, which means even if you don't want Elixir, if you don't have Arishem Malekith, this week sure looks like an open to me. I think these variants are ugly, just for the record. I don't know why Arishem is green, but I don't like it. And I think this Malekith is weird looking, and I like both of the current ones in the game significantly better. Although, again, this Elixir variant, Elixir is just a great card design, and this Elixir variant is gorgeous. Our last new card of the month, as far as spotlights go, but not our last new card of the month. We got 4 more cards and like a million variants to talk about still, is Xorn. Xorn is a 2/3. Ready? After any 3 or 4 cross card is played here, move it to another location. That's the same wording as Silk, which means it's going to work at either location. That means maybe we'll finally get used to that Hercules playing this into Hercules into like a Vulture. But even if we don't, friends, this seems incredibly strong with just Vulture. You don't need much more than Vulture to make this good. Um, You can move Vulture into there anytime and popcorn it out. It's 2, not 3, so I think this really has potential. Also, it looks ridiculously cool. So, like, I don't know, maybe this is bad, but it's at least super freaking cool, and it at least makes Vulture a potentially meta card. Maybe we'll even finally get Surfer Move here, which is very, very exciting. I think that this card is at least cool and probably strong, but if not, busted. And Xorn comes with Scream and Ajax. Scream will straight up counter Xorn, but they could go in a deck together, because that means if your opponent is going to try and move to that play into that Xorn lane, it's going to get moved and Scream is going to trigger, which is nice. Scream and Ajax are two, again, of the better cards in Marvel Snap. You love to see these two cards in a spotlight together. We're playing just an incredible, incredible five, one of the like five best fives, and one of the two or three best two drops, along with Zorn, which means Zorn might be weaker, much like we might see Elixir be weaker because they come with such good spotlights. But yo, Scream and Ajax are nuts, and you love to see it. I'm also excited to see what Sizer cooks with Zorn, but right now, immediately, I just want to play Vulture, right? I want to play Vulture, and I want to play the 3-2 we talked about, the Hydra Smasher, because Hydra Smasher will give itself +1 power for this, for being played on this, while also getting a +1 power for Vulture's play, and that just like that seems enough. I feel like we're getting toward that kind of deck, and I'm really excited for it. You play this in one location, and then you drop a Craven, and you have like a Sam Wilson, and we might be getting to another different type of move dust, and that's really really cool. All right, Kid Omega is a new card. We've got 3 new X-Men themed new cards, which suggests to me that the current mode of Sanctum Showdown is going to come back this week. There's no guarantee of that, obviously, but my guess is we're going to see a return of Sanctum Showdown with these 3 new X-Men cards. The first of them is 2/2 Kid Omega. Destroy the next card you play this turn to get its power. I've already seen on social media people misreading this a lot. It's the next card you play this turn, which means you need to play this and something else immediately after. Oh no, it's an activate. Excuse me. Wow, never mind. I'm completely wrong. It's activate. I read it wrong, even after I thought everyone else read it wrong. I was reading it as an on reveal. This is an activate, which means that this is kind of awesome as like an immediate way to destroy Nimrod, a way to make sure that you can get rid of your Deadpool or whatever else. I think this is likely to be kind of a very, very good card for destroy shells, one at least worth messing with. Plus, Kid Omega looks ridiculously freaking cool. So I am for it. Destroy hasn't gotten a card that actually matters in a million years. Hopefully, this one is it. You activate, because activate means you can play one card, um, activate, then play another card. That's going to give you like all sorts of Hulkbuster extra synergy, and that Kid Omega gets that power. So like Kid Omega can get stupidly huge if you destroy like a Deadpool with this, or even if you just make it like you go Kid Omega, then you go Shuri Nimrod, and then you immediately get that Nimrod destroy. This is going to get +12 power, making it a 2/14. You love to see it. I think this is really really cool. Like this is probably best with Deadpool, but this is going to be in very 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 good decks. Next up, we have Hellion, 5/8. On reveal next turn, you can move cards to this location. So it's 5/8 for a one-sided cloak. Um, yeah, I'll take it. There's certain move decks that want this, that would absolutely play this over Cloak. Cloak in the classic move is great. Having a 5/8 that does the same thing, which is obviously real stats, just seems very, very good. This kind of card, what it really does, what Cloak does, is it lets you set up a Heimdall. It lets you play center and mid for most of the game, and then as long as you didn't get clogged, you can set up a Heimdall with Hellion. 5/8 is also a lot of stats. Again, a very cool looking card that they're likely giving to us for free. And then finally, the meta answer, the Sizer Crier. It is Mercury. This is a 2/2. You can move this once. A 2/2 you can move once is fine. We've seen Jeff. Jeff is good, right? This is one less than Jeff. But it also comes with an ongoing. Enemy cards here can't move. That seems really good. You play that on a what's her name? I lost her name. On a Madam Web, and that is just problem solved, right? Like once a card is there, it's stuck, it's glue. Mercury is a great, great way to do this. Very cool idea for what to do with Mercury in particular as a character and a card and a concept. Very like again, I can't speak highly enough of this design. I think Mercury is going to be great. I don't know if she sees play, but if the meta ever gets overrun with move again, they can like now push move. They can print all these move cards largely because they actually have Mercury and Scream to make those decks pay. Very, very cool stuff. This is also secretly one hell of a clog card. Like enemy cards here can't move is great. You just sort of jam up the opponent and where they would play like a Rocket and Groot and be able to be like, all right, screw you. No, they can't. They're stuck there. Again, very cool design for Mercury in Clog in Scream in a lot of decks. I think that this one's going to be great. All right, We have one more card. We don't know when this is coming out, but this is one more move. 4/7, activate. Move your other cards here to the right. I think that that is potentially very strong. Anything that can move more than one card is potentially very strong, but you have to play this on turn 4 because it's activate. Uh, Obviously, you can't play it on turn 3 most of the time because it costs 4 energy. And if you play it on turn 5, you're probably not going to be able to activate it in the right time frame. We've seen this problem with Black Swan. So I don't know. I think that this. I guess you can play it on turn 5. You can play it on 4 or 5. So you can't play it on 6. This is okay. I don't think move decks are going to want this, but I could easily be wrong because moving 3 or 4 cards to the right might be strong. This one does seem cool though. I'm happy this is coming out as well. All right. Variants I like from the Datamines. First, this Kitty Pryde I think is really great. This sort of assassin-y Kitty Pryde is coming out in the Conquest shop. So if you play enough Conquest, you'll be able to get it. I told you I loved this Elixir, and I in fact do. This one's super cool. This Gwenpool is great. We only have one Gwenpool variant in the game currently, unless I missed something. We only have the variant that came out when she was in the season pass, which is already last July, almost like 8 months ago. So this new Gwenpool is A, gorgeous. I really like the art. And B, I love that pink sword. This one feels dynamic. I'm all for it. This will be immediately become my main Gwenpool upon its release. Oh, ignore that. We also have, I wasn't sure if I wanted the kitty or the X23. This X23 is amazingly cool. I love that splash of color. Let's frickin' go. All right. From there, we have a Prodigy. This is the Prodigy that feels right to me. Prodigy sort of teaching a class, doing a bunch of math on the board. Prodigy copies other powers. I think that's a really, really cool depiction. This will be the Prodigy I use in game. It feels like a comic book. We have Human Torch in the new Disco variants as Disco Torch with the Disco Fantastic Four. Hell yeah. I'm all about this. This is amazing. And then finally, we have Cyclops as Captain Krakoa, and Captain Krakoa is ridiculously ugly. However, Cyclops as Captain Krakoa is a really great idea, and I think I'm happy to see this variant in the game, Cyclops being one of my favorite Marvel characters. We have 3 new comic covers. I have almost every comic cover. There was one that was a spotlight that I didn't get, but I must have this Wolverine. This will immediately be my Wolverine go-to. I believe this is this John Byrne or Frank Miller? Whatever. I don't care. This is one of the oh no, this is Frank Miller, right? I want that. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna love it. And then we have this Daredevil, which is okay. It's not my favorite, but like a reasonably cool Daredevil, and then a very cool Silver Surfer. I mean, that surfer's just gorgeous. I don't know what else to say. It feels exactly like the old comics. So we got 3 new comic variants that I'll be getting. And then we have a whole bunch of hips. Yeah, we got a bunch of Datamine hips. We got Blink, which is great because there's not a Blink variant I love. We got Black Swan, and I don't love this Black Swan. I, in fact, like one of the ones that I have gold better. We have a Kyara, which is reasonably cool. It's a 50-50 whether I'll use this or the gold background one, but I do like the hip Kyara. Happy to have it. Also, I'm rare complete, so as long as they keep releasing hips in the normal way, I'll always get them. Then we have Phastos. Phastos being here. This will immediately be my Phastos. There's not a Phastos in the game I like. And this one is just feels like the character and is gorgeous and has a lot going on. I don't like this Proxima. I don't know what the hell it is, but this is too bulky and doesn't feel like the character to me. So whatever. I do love this Sebastian Shaw. This feels like a video game version of Sebastian Shaw. There's another good Shaw coming. Love to see more good Shaw variants coming since he's so good in Surfer. We might be able to get our full hip Surfer now. From there, we have Cull Obsidian, and this is an okay Cull. I don't love the designs on the Black Order, so I don't love the Cull and I don't love the Corvus. They just feel a little busy for me for Dan Hipp art. I prefer the simplicity of this Hulkling. This Emperor Hulkling is absolutely great as a piece of Dan Hipp art that I'm all freaking about. From there, we have our last 2 hips, and then we're going to finish up with the squirrel. So you got a Celine, which is pretty cool. I mean, if I ever played Celine, it would matter which Celine I use. I have a few good Celine variants, but she's not great. And then we have Supergiant, the only one I really like of the Black Order variants, but this one does feel very cool. I like the glow. I like the, I don't know, wave or mountains. I can't even tell. Her cape in the background. I think all of this looks super cool. And then finally, we get a token variant for the squirrel. We also get another Winter Soldier. But yo, a squirrel. I'm so excited for the squirrel with the bow. Let's frickin' go. Squirrel Girl is one of the best comics. If you've never read it, The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl is a delightful comic. Go check it out. You won't be sad you did. And that's it. That's our review of all the Datamines from today. Please check out patreon.com/snapjudgments if you'd like to show some more support to the channel. Certain tiers of support on our Patreon come with honor, thanks in every single video. So I'm going to say thank you to very, very quickly Absolute Shannon, our patron of the month, Abigail Kiesland, Mentor Burnout, Irregardless, LAB Inc., Iron Frostman, Hota Navidete, Thinking Poker, Prime Brian, Ryan Burke, Ryan Wood, Kertix Lee, Koi Ray, Rude, Kazushi, Archangel 3K, Black Dahlia, Profos, The Goat Seeker, Hot Load, Nightmare, Only Fox, Synth, Fat Nick, Dirty Casual, Mr. Kerfuffle, Cables, Ginger Prime, Philip Brackwich, Haplo, Kenny Loggins of the Danger Zone, The Bezza, Black Jeepers 23, Extra C, and Skippy G, Jessica Gamble, Slush Death, King of Bros, Bro, The Great Gazoo, Werewolf, Kevsey Hoda, Lunar Chris, Clam, Colonel Forbin, Rob Silverman, M. Holland, David G. Wingfield, Stephen Brown, Coffin, Tristan, Martin, Jason, Me, Chrysler, Craig, Sterry B, Matt V, Ran Wrench, Corbin, John Q, Jim McHugh, Yistout, 8th, Sage, One Big Man, Milkman for Reals, Cactus Jack, BG, Quid Pro Joe, Snap to Scissors Joe, Models Mod Supreme, Green Goblin, Unibot, Flan, 56, Lee, Fuzzy Knob, Spectrums, Woot, Oculars, Matt H, DJ, Mikey, Hijinks, No Frickin' Flex, Nick the Greek Geek, Zodrex, the King of Canada, Denman Falcon, Fafner Newman, Jonesy, Two Ties, the Great Lornas, the Pranking Tucker, of course, getting T where the T stands for. That's it. I got 4 decks for you tomorrow, including the best day one, Agamotto and Isan. Don't miss out on those videos. Thank you so much for your love, watching, and support, and I'll see you tomorrow for more Snap Take, unless I see you sooner on stream tonight where we're giving away an Agamotto. Don't miss it, 6:30, 7 p.m.-ish on Twitch at Pulse Glazer. Peace.